Welcome to Book Huddle. I'm your host, Karen Reeder, and I am so excited to have Brandi Dugal on with us. I saw her products when I was just on Facebook and they came up in an ad. And so I immediately stood up, went over to my computer, researched how to find her and contact her because I said, I have to hear about this. I love using play to teach children. And so Brandi, tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your backstory, and then we'll get into the fidget game.
Yes, so I was a teacher for 6 years before I developed this game and a reading specialist. And in my last year teaching, I walked into a classroom where 95% of my kids were reading below grade level. So I spent hundreds of hours researching what I need to do to get them to a higher grade level. Reading is just so important. It is the basis for everything. So then I changed everything and I gamified the entire curriculum around literacy. And I basically developed the fidget game in my classroom. And within 6 months, 90% of my students were reading at or above grade level.
That's
It
amazing.
was so effective. It was incredible.
That makes me feel good. Oh,
Yes, it was amazing. And then what happened is, and we aligned multisensory, aligned with the science of reading and game-based, which are all proven to be really effective when teaching kids how to
nice.
read. And then COVID hit, and all my friends and family, and even ex-parents from ex-students I had were reaching out for help. And I created packages of the fidget game and sent to them, and the results were amazing. They were like, our kids want to read, they want to practice every night,
Beautiful.
because it was a really painful process, and it usually is for parents to
Yeah.
teach their kids at home. Yeah.
Yeah. And if
So
you have no training in it, oh my gosh, right? It's
yes, yeah, you're just lost. So that's what I created and put together, and we started with one game and it went viral and the feedback was incredible. And now we have about 12 games and we are in over 50,000 schools in the US right now. So it's
that
been
is amazing. I love this, Brandi. And I love that you just took that passion and it has taken off. And
It's amazing. And I had such a little amount of savings to start it.
right.
But I think it just goes to show, with some hard work and a ton of passion behind anything you do, it
Yes.
can lift you to, wherever you want to go.
Oh,
So
so
it's,
motivating, especially in January as we're approaching all of our goals and things. Oh, it
yes,
is
yes.
wonderful. So I teach at a preschool, so I'm seeing this as something that preschoolers might like to do, and the early learners, the K, first, second. What about as they get older? Are you able to successfully, are any of them like, no, I don't play games to read? Or is it successfully received for those who struggle as maybe fourth graders or older?
Yes. So actually I have this game, vocabulary words, that's for grade 4, 5, and
Oh,
6.
great. Yay.
And and the reading game, which is also for grades probably about grade 3, 4, 5, we're seeing it to be
Okay.
most effective to practice digraphs and 6-syllable
Oh,
types. And
nice.
we are amazed by the feedback. They said it's such a hit in the classroom, because what happens, what people forget is, as humans, as we grow up and we become adults, we still want to play games. And
Yes.
we kind of shut that off by grade 3. And then we start treating these kids like they have to just sit and do the mundane work.
Right.
So we're realizing that all the way to grade 8, it will be effective to use gameplay because it's
Right.
effective for us adults. It never goes away.
Right.
So we're seeing
Absolutely.
it work all the way to grade 6, and we hope eventually we can go to higher grade levels.
Right.
Just right now, our focus is translation to Spanish and French,
Beautiful.
ESL as a second language, as
Ah,
well as focusing on children specifically with dyslexia. So creating kits for them as well.
oh,
So
that is so wonderful. I love
yes.
this. I love this. I wonder, I would hope that maybe libraries would get this for something to check out, because some of the libraries I've been to have had puzzles or kits to check out. So I'm going to recommend this to some of my librarian friends and say, hey,
Yes,
you should
that
get
would be a
these.
great
Yeah,
idea.
that would be
Yes.
awesome. Because what I'm thinking is also, I feel like I'll try not to be on this soapbox too long. I'm opposed to homework before, actually in elementary school at all, but especially before fourth grade, besides reading.
Me too.
Many
I agree.
parents, so many parents want homework because they feel that will make their child succeed. And I'm like,
Mhm.
just read with your kid at home. That's the
Yep.
number one thing, the best thing you can do. But how fun to have something like this. Do you know what? Not just read to your child at home, play reading games with your child. How beautiful and wonderful. They'll just have fun. And that is so much better than the teacher sending home worksheets and stuff.
Exactly. And it completely builds confidence and takes the pressure off. So
Yes.
like, my game, the Fidget Game Sight Words for pre-K to grade 3, I
Right.
have a learning guide that you introduce just 5 words and you play the game with 5 words and until they master those words and they get so much confidence because they get to roll the die if they get their word correctly, until they master those, you don't move on. And so you're just building confidence. It's really simple to teach 5 words, and in 2 weeks, they've memorized those words that they see constantly, like the and then, so it's just building confidence. And then I always say the best thing you can do for helping your children to read is sitting down, opening a book, and reading with them.
Yeah.
Gameplay is great, but that is how I learned to read,
Yes.
overall. So
Absolutely.
I'm totally aligned with that.
Wonderful. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. All right. So I just discovered actually when I got on with Brandi that she was on Shark Tank. And I was like, oh, I'm so nervous because I don't know, they're intimidating, right? So tell me about the
Yeah.
experience going on Shark Tank. Was this a recent episode?
Yeah, it was in November 17th we aired. So yeah, not too long ago.
So it's
Yes,
still the early stages of working with them.
it is. Yeah. So I mean, my experience was great. I experienced such positive feedback from the Sharks. They really backed my idea and they thought it was wonderful. And there were really, I was really shocked how well they knew about the literacy crisis in America, because it's very, it's very intense what is happening
Yes.
within that in the US. So they knew all the statistics and they were like, this is so needed. So my experience went really well, but I would say it was the most stressful thing in my life that I've ever
Right?
had to prepare for, because, I was a teacher. I have
Yes.
no business, like, I haven't done a business pitch before. So preparing for that and preparing for all these questions, it was intense. And you guys see, 10, 15 minutes on the TV screen, but it
Yeah.
lasts over an hour. So it's
Oh,
a real pitch. Like
yeah.
it's not, it has nothing to do with like TV or nothing scripted. You get one shot, you walk
Oh,
out,
God.
that's it. So
Oh,
like if you mess up your pitch, they're not going to be like, okay, we'll do that again.
yeah.
No, no.
Oh, man. Yeah. That
It
just
was
makes
it
me
was
nervous.
it was nerve-wracking, but it was
Oh,
great. I had a great experience with it. And working with someone who is so passionate about reading and literacy, which is Barbara,
okay.
this is really interesting. 3 out of the 5 sharks are dyslexic.
Really?
So
Oh, wow.
yes,
That's something. Wow.
and Barbara in particular, she didn't really learn how to read until 8th grade. And
Yeah.
she thought she was dumb her whole life. And so she has a huge passion for what we are creating to help children with dyslexia. And yeah, it's really incredible to have someone who backs you that also has an interest in it as well.
That is so awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So hold up one of the fidgets for us. And can you pick like a part of the game? Like pretend that you're just getting started working with me. So like you're explaining it to a child.
Yeah. So basically everyone gets their rainbow fidget mat.
Yay.
And then you choose your card pack. So what grade level you're in. So we have pre-K all the way to grade 3.
Perfect.
And then what a child does is you follow the learning guide and workbook. And let's say you say, okay, we're going to introduce the 5 words this week, which would be the, one, in. Okay, let's just make it simple.
Great.
And then you want to include the gremlin and unicorn cards.
Oh, cute.
And one thing to note is it's really important is if there's a lightning bolt, you teach a child that this you can read in a flash. So you don't have to know it by heart. You can sound it out. In. If you get a heart word, you have to know it by heart. You can't sound this word out. So 1. So those are like just 2 little quick symbols you want to include.
I like those visual cues for them. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And
Wonderful.
then all you do is, well, you don't want rolling on pop, but you choose a card. If you say the word correctly, you can roll the die. And then whatever you roll in the die, you get to pop your bubbles on the mat.
Great.
And basically, if you get a unicorn card, you get to roll the die twice. So you get to roll down more bubbles.
Great.
And if you get gremlin card, you have to roll and unpop. So you have to unpop the bubbles. Whoever pops all their bubbles first wins.
Great.
So it's really simple. And then I have worksheets to go along with it for the words to learn that week. So it's like a little guide for parents to follow and they don't have to think, you know?
Yeah. Oh, how fun.
Yes.
Wow. That is so great. So you mentioned a workbook. Does that come with the game or is this a downloadable file or okay?
Yep, it's a QR code, so you have to download it and yeah, and that's it. It comes
Same with the worksheets. You'll just download those, print those off.
Exactly. Yep.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That is so exciting. I am thrilled about that. Okay, so show us, how many do you have out right now?
I have 12.
Okay.
I don't have them all here. My second best game is Word Pop, but I don't have it with me right now, but it's similar to this. These are CVC words. So these are the first words kids should learn when they're learning to blend letter sounds. So an example would be like jet, j, t, jet. And they sound it out as they pop them down.
Great.
Sneaky Elves.
I was wondering if there was something like that where the letters were written on it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So we have a few games. Word Pop is another one, and they all have their fun little rules. And then we have, even for younger grades, like this would be great for pre-K, we have ABC Bingo.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So where they, they get to identify letters and it's just kind of like a bingo.
Wonderful.
Game. Yes.
That is excellent. I'm excited to tell about this to other people. And we will include below in the description where people can find you, because I'm assuming it's your own website, right? Do you sell it anywhere else? Is it on?
It's on Amazon as well.
On Amazon. Okay. That's what I was wondering. Is it available on Amazon? All right. So you can go there, order it, get started right away. All of the instructions are pretty easy to follow, it sounds like.
They're really easy to follow. They're very simple.
All right.
I think simple is best.
Yes. We do a game night every Sunday with my family, and I have ages 3 through 14. And so sometimes the 3-year-old's not very interactive with it, but half the time the game's like, all right, who's in charge of reading the rules?
Yeah, right. I know.
Somebody figure out what we're doing because we can't even get started yet. So it's nice when a game it's quick and easy to read and understand, and then the kids can have a quick refresher or remember next time they come back and play it.
Yeah, it's an intuitive, I think all games should try to be as intuitive as possible. Like just makes sense, not too complicated. So they're already trying to learn to read. We don't need to add more, more
complication to this. All right. Yeah. I love that. Such a great way. It can be in the schools with different centers or group work, or even sometimes, I suppose there are some, if they bought a big enough set, you could do whole class, right? Maybe
so for most of our games, we give extra, like we sell extra mats because we realize so many teachers were like, we need more for our classroom, or we need more for our small groups because they're doing 6, because in each game only includes 4. So we sell extra mats to cover that.
So yeah, I'm picturing great for the classrooms, get that set, and then they can order extra. Wonderful for families at home, because so often, you're looking for just extra resources, and oh my gosh, like so many kids do not want to come home and do homework with mom and dad, right? And so if they go home and play games with mom and dad, yes, and then librarians, that would be great to have kits that people could check out, because I know some libraries do have games you can check out. So how much better if it had to do with literacy? Wonderful.
Yeah, that's so true. And even for some of the schools that have less funding, to be able to have that for kids to bring home and their parents actually can, without having to actually buy the game. I should mention we donate games to any families who are low income or schools that are underfunded, like usually Title I schools. So it's called the Fidget Forward program, and we're hoping to donate over 1,000 in the next 6 months. So we're really involved in that as well.
Well, and so many, I've been PTA before, and PTA has money for stuff like this a lot, usually. I guess I've been on 2 or 3 different ones, and teachers write your PTA and say, hey, can I get some money just to get some of these games for my class? Like there are so many different places and ways that you might not realize. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I just loved having you. I'm so excited about this. And what I love to do at the end of every book huddle is to have you recommend a favorite children's book that you can share with us.
Oh, I would love to. I love children's books. Okay, so mine would be a Canadian author because I'm originally from Canada.
Okay, great.
Robert Munsch, Mortimer by Robert Munsch.
Okay. Tell me a
I
little bit
have
about it. I don't think I've heard of
oh, oh my gosh, Robert Munsch. I have all of his books. I taught in Vietnam, Bahrain,
Oh,
Thailand, and
wow.
Indonesia. Yes, and when I did, it doesn't matter if a child is ESL or not.
Right.
They loved Robert Munsch books, and they
Okay.
are silly and funny, and I grew up reading them, so I'm obsessed with them. Love You Forever is a really famous book by Robert Munsch as well,
Okay.
but yeah, they're really silly. They're just silly books. There's
Right.
not much, like really deep lessons, which some children's books can have. These ones are
Yeah.
just fun, silly, and I just love them. I adore it.
I love a silly book. I like, the Mo Willems books or whatever. And when I read to my preschool class, I walk back and forth and I shout and I'm animated. And
Oh my
it
gosh,
sounds like
Karen,
those would be
please.
great for this.
Oh my gosh, please. I will ask for your address. I'm going to send you a couple Munch books, and I'd love to know your feedback on it because
Okay.
they would be perfect.
That
They'd
is
be,
what I love because
yes.
that's like before I ever started teaching preschool, I'd sub and I ended up being like a regular kindergarten sub. And so like I'd get thrown in there and I had no idea what's going on, or I needed to quiet the classroom. And I was like, the best way for me to do it is just pick up a book and read and perform for them.
It's true. It's so true. I'm sending you a couple Robert Munch books
Oh,
because I
fun.
want
Thank you so much.
Mortimer.
That'll be
It's like,
awesome. Oh,
yes,
I'm
yes.
excited. That is amazing. Okay, and this is, I mean, I do it for our audience to get more reads, but as much as anything, I love to find these books that I hear from different people because every time it's been something different.
Wow, I love that. I'm so excited to introduce you to my favorite children's author. I
Excellent.
can't. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much, Brandi, for being on with us today. This has been so great to learn about the Fidget Game, and I am excited about Robert Munch. And just thank you for sharing literacy with the world and helping improve that.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.